The legend of Our Lady of Candelaria is more than just a historical event. It is a beacon of faith that has transcended generations, cultures, and continents. Rooted in the mystical landscapes of Tenerife, her miraculous apparition ignited a devotion that spread across the world, becoming a powerful force of hope and divine guidance. Today, millions of believers turn to her for protection, healing, and spiritual strength, reinforcing her role as a guiding light in the darkest times. The story begins in the 15th century, in the rugged terrain of the Canary Islands, where a small group of indigenous Guanches witnessed an extraordinary vision, a luminous figure of a woman holding a child and a candle, radiating an aura of celestial peace. This moment was not only a revelation but a divine call that would alter the spiritual landscape of the region forever. What seemed like a mysterious apparition soon became the heart of a growing devotion, one that intertwined with local beliefs, Spanish Catholicism, and later, the spiritual fabric of Latin America. But why has the faith in Our Lady of Candelaria endured through centuries? What makes her presence so strong that even in modern times, her followers continue to honor her with grand processions, heartfelt prayers, and unwavering trust in her miracles? The answer lies in the timeless power of faith, the sacred meaning behind light, and the profound human need for guidance and reassurance in times of uncertainty. In this video, we will embark on a transformative journey through the story of Our Lady of Candelaria, her miraculous apparition, her rise as a spiritual protector, and the incredible ways in which she continues to shape the lives of millions. From Tenerife to Mexico, Peru, Bolivia, and beyond, her devotion has taken root in diverse cultures, merging ancestral traditions with Christian beliefs, forming an unbreakable spiritual bridge. We will also uncover the deep symbolism of her image, the significance of her candle as a beacon of faith, and the powerful testimonies of those who have experienced her miracles firsthand. Whether you are already devoted to her or are just discovering her story, this journey will open your eyes to the enduring strength of faith and the divine presence that continues to shine through Our Lady of Candelaria. Stay with us until the end of this video, as we reveal some of the most astonishing miracles attributed to her intercession, and discover how her presence can bring hope, protection, and light into your life. Are you ready to experience the divine? Let's begin this incredible journey. The story of Our Lady of Candelaria begins on the mystical island of Tenerife, a land of towering cliffs, deep valleys, and ancient traditions. The indigenous Guanches, a deeply spiritual people, lived in harmony with nature, worshiping their gods and seeking divine signs in the world around them. One evening, under a sky blanketed with stars, two Guanche shepherds guided their flock through a narrow mountain pass, unaware that they were about to witness an event that would alter history forever. As the wind whispered through the rocks and the waves crashed against the island's rugged shore, something unexplainable happened. The animals stopped abruptly, refusing to move forward, their eyes fixated on something unseen. Emerging from the darkness, bathed in an ethereal glow, stood a woman of extraordinary beauty, holding a child in her arms and a candle that burned without consuming its wax. Her presence radiated a warmth that pierced the cold night, and despite the absence of wind, her robe seemed to flow with an unseen force. The shepherds were struck with both fear and awe, their hearts pounding as they beheld this celestial vision. They had never seen anything like it. Was she a spirit, a goddess, or a divine messenger? They did not know, but they knew she was not of this world. At first, the shepherds hesitated, unsure of whether they should approach or flee. But something within them, a deep, inexplicable pull of faith, compelled them to step forward. As they did, the mysterious woman remained still, her eyes filled with a gaze of profound compassion and wisdom. When one of the shepherds attempted to touch her, an invisible force gently pushed him away, as if reminding them that she was a being of the divine. Realizing the magnitude of what they had just experienced, they ran back to their village, eager to share their encounter with their people. The news of the celestial woman spread quickly, reaching the ears of the Guanche leader, the Mense. Intrigued and skeptical, he gathered his warriors and followed the shepherds back to the place where she had appeared. To their astonishment, she was still there, unchanged, standing as if time itself had stopped. But what shocked them even more was that no one could move her. No matter how many men tried, the figure remained immovable, as if rooted to the very fabric of existence. It was then that they understood. This was no ordinary woman. She was a divine presence. For days, the Guanches debated what this meant. Was she a goddess sent to bless their land, a warning from the spirits, or a sign of an impending transformation? As they pondered these questions, an unshakable feeling of peace and protection surrounded them, as if merely standing in her presence brought clarity to their souls. The first seeds of devotion had been planted. This miraculous apparition was just the beginning. The divine encounter with Our Lady of Candelaria would soon set in motion a spiritual revolution, leading to her veneration as the patroness of the Canary Islands, and later, a guiding light for millions across the world. But her journey was far from over. Her influence was only beginning to take root. Light has always been a symbol of hope, faith, and divine presence. In the case of Our Lady of Candelaria, the candle she holds is not just a simple object. It represents the eternal light of God, illuminating the path of those who seek guidance and protection. Throughout history, candles have held sacred significance, used in rituals, prayers, and moments of deep reflection, reminding us that even in the darkest times, a single flame can dispel the shadows. But what makes the candle of Our Lady of Candelaria so unique? The candle is an invitation. It calls to those who have lost their way, whispering, "Come back to the light." It is a symbol of renewal, of transformation, a reminder that no matter how lost one feels, faith has the power to lead them home. Many who have prayed before Our Lady of Candelaria have spoken of a profound sense of warmth and clarity, as if her flame touches not only the physical world, but the very depths of the soul. This sacred light is also a beacon of miracles and intercession. Countless testimonies tell of those who lit a candle in her name, praying for healing, strength, or guidance, only to find their prayers answered in unexpected and divine ways. From the fisherman lost at sea who suddenly found his way back to shore, to the mother who prayed for her sick child and witnessed an unexplained recovery, her flame has never failed those who trust in it. Furthermore, the candle represents the connection between heaven and earth. The wax symbolizes human life, melting, changing, yet offering itself in service. The flame represents the presence of God, always burning, always leading. The smoke rising into the sky is the voice of prayer, carrying the hopes, dreams, and supplications of believers to the divine realm. In many cultures, lighting a candle is an act of faith in action. It is not simply an object burning. It is a physical manifestation of belief, a silent but powerful declaration that the person who lights it trusts in something greater than themselves. This is why churches, homes, and even altars in the most remote places of the world hold candles dedicated to Our Lady of Candelaria, because she is the mother who listens, who intercedes, and who reminds us that faith is the flame that never dies. Through the centuries, the devotion to Our Lady of Candelaria's light has only grown stronger. Her presence in festivals, religious ceremonies, and family traditions continues to remind people of the power of faith, the necessity of hope, and the reassurance that darkness will never triumph over the light. But beyond the candle, beyond the flame, what does her very presence mean for those who follow her? In the next section, we will explore the deep spiritual significance of her image and why millions find solace in her gaze. The image of Our Lady of Candelaria is more than just a representation of faith. It carries within it a profound spiritual significance that speaks to the hearts of millions. Her expression, her posture, and even the details of her attire convey messages of love, protection, and divine wisdom. But what is it about her image that inspires such deep devotion? Why do countless people find solace simply by looking into her eyes? The answer lies in the power of a mother's gaze, a gaze that reassures, strengthens, and nurtures the soul. Throughout history, the eyes of Our Lady of Candelaria have been described as both sorrowful and compassionate, reflecting the struggles and hopes of those who turn to her. Some say that when they stand before her, they feel as if she is looking directly into their soul, understanding their pains, worries, and silent prayers without a single word being spoken. It is a gaze that says, "I am here. You are not alone." This feeling of connection is what makes her presence so powerful. She is not distant. She is a mother who listens, who watches over her children, and who intercedes on their behalf. Her attire is equally symbolic. Draped in rich golden robes, she represents the light that cannot be dimmed, the divine presence that continues to shine even in the darkest times. The golden hues symbolize purity, wisdom, and divine favor, reinforcing the idea that she is a heavenly figure, meant to guide and protect those who seek her intercession. The child in her arms represents not just Christ, but the promise of hope, salvation, and unconditional love. But perhaps the most mystical aspect of her image is its ability to change lives. Many have stood before her feeling lost, burdened, or overwhelmed, only to walk away transformed, filled with an unshakable sense of peace and clarity. It is as if, in those moments, her presence alone is enough to lift the heaviest of burdens, to remind the weary soul that faith is never in vain. Testimonies of conversion, healing, and spiritual renewal are countless, proving that her image is more than just an icon. It is a direct channel to the divine. In a world where uncertainty often clouds our vision, her image serves as a reminder that light, love, and faith remain eternal. The way she holds her child, the way her candle burns without fading, the way her eyes seem to carry the weight of centuries of prayers, all of it speaks to the universal need for hope. No matter where one comes from or what struggles they face, standing before Our Lady of Candelaria is an experience that touches the deepest parts of the soul. Her gaze, her posture, her divine presence, everything about her invites people to believe in something greater than themselves, to trust that no storm lasts forever, and to understand that even in the darkest of nights, her light will always lead the way. But how did her devotion spread beyond Tenerife? What led to her veneration reaching distant lands across the ocean? In the next section, we will explore the journey of her devotion from the Canary Islands to Latin America, and how she became a mother to millions. Faith knows no borders. What began as a mystical encounter on a small island soon grew into a devotion that spanned continents, cultures, and generations. The journey of Our Lady of Candelaria from Tenerife to the Americas is one of miracles, resilience, and divine guidance. A story of how her light found a home in the hearts of millions across the ocean. When the Spanish conquerors set sail for the New World, they carried more than just weapons and ambitions. They brought with them their faith, their traditions, and their devotion to the Virgin Mary. Among the many Marian advocations, Our Lady of Candelaria stood out. Her light was seen as a beacon of protection, especially for sailors and explorers who faced the dangers of the vast, uncharted seas. It was believed that her candle could illuminate the way, ensuring that those who traveled under her guidance would find safe passage. But her arrival in the Americas was more than just a migration of faith. It was a spiritual fusion. Indigenous cultures across Latin America already had deep traditions of revering mother figures, goddesses, and symbols of fertility and protection. When the devotion to Our Lady of Candelaria reached their lands, something incredible happened. Her presence was not rejected but embraced. In her, many saw a familiar figure, a mother, a protector, a divine being who understood their prayers and struggles. In Mexico, she was associated with Tonantzin, the indigenous mother goddess, and her veneration merged with existing traditions. In the Andean regions, her presence was linked to Pachamama, the Earth Mother, reinforcing her role as a universal protector. In Bolivia, Peru, and Colombia, her image was welcomed into homes, churches, and villages, where she quickly became a source of miracles and hope. Her devotion did not simply spread, it flourished. Grand processions, festivals, and prayers dedicated to her took root, evolving into some of the largest and most significant religious celebrations in the Americas. Her presence was no longer just a European legacy. It became a deeply woven part of Latin American spirituality, connecting the past and present, indigenous and Catholic, old and new. Today, her influence is stronger than ever. From the bustling streets of Mexico City to the high-altitude villages of Peru, from the coasts of the Caribbean to the heart of the Andes, millions continue to honor her, trusting in her intercession and believing in the power of her light. But how did her miracles shape this devotion? What testimonies prove that her presence is real? In the next section, we will dive into some of the most incredible miracles attributed to Our Lady of Candelaria. Miracles are the cornerstones of devotion. They serve as undeniable proof that faith has power, that divine intervention is real, and that those who believe will never walk alone. The legacy of Our Lady of Candelaria is filled with miraculous events, stories of healing, protection, and impossible situations turned into triumphs. But what makes her intercession so powerful? Why do millions place their deepest hopes in her hands? One of the most famous miracles attributed to her occurred on the shores of Tenerife centuries ago. A violent storm had swept through the region, threatening to destroy an entire fishing village. The people, fearing for their lives, rushed to her image, lighting candles and praying for mercy. Moments later, the skies cleared, and the sea became calm and serene, as if an unseen force had commanded the waters to be still. It was a sign, a message that her presence was not just symbolic, but actively protective. Similar stories have been told across Latin America. In Mexico, a mother whose child was diagnosed with a terminal illness placed her faith in Our Lady of Candelaria, lighting a candle and praying through the night. Doctors had given up hope, but by morning the child's condition had completely reversed, a recovery that could not be medically explained. In Bolivia, a miner trapped underground for days claimed he saw a vision of the Virgin holding a candle, guiding him toward an opening that led to his rescue. His survival was declared impossible until it happened. These miracles are not just stories, they are living testimonies of those who have witnessed the extraordinary power of faith. Thousands of people from different backgrounds and cultures share their experiences of prayers answered, illnesses healed, and dangers avoided through her intercession. Whether it is sailors surviving treacherous storms, families finding unexpected financial relief, or individuals overcoming despair, one truth remains constant: her light never fails. But miracles are not just physical, they are also spiritual. Many who turn to Our Lady of Candelaria do so not because they seek healing for the body, but because they seek healing for the soul. They find peace where there was once anxiety, hope where there was once despair, clarity where there was once confusion. This is perhaps the greatest miracle of all, the ability of faith to transform lives from the inside out. Her divine intervention continues today, proving that no prayer goes unheard, no plea is ignored, and no believer is ever truly alone. But how do people express their gratitude for her protection? How do communities celebrate her presence in their lives? The answer lies in some of the grandest religious festivals in the world. The devotion to Our Lady of Candelaria is not just felt in whispered prayers, it is celebrated with joy, passion, and grandeur. Across the world, millions come together every year to honor her, giving thanks for the blessings received and renewing their faith in her divine guidance. These celebrations are more than just religious rituals, they are expressions of love, unity, and unwavering trust in her intercession. One of the most spectacular festivals takes place in Puno, Peru, where thousands of devotees gather in the streets, dressed in vibrant costumes, dancing and singing in her honor. The celebration merges indigenous Andean traditions with Catholic faith, creating a breathtaking display of culture, devotion, and spiritual energy. The devotion is so strong that this festival has been declared an intangible cultural heritage of humanity by UNESCO. In Mexico, the Dia de la Candelaria is one of the most beloved traditions. Families come together to dress and present the Niño Dios, baby Jesus, offering tamales and lighting candles in her honor. The celebration is deeply rooted in gratitude and communal faith, reminding everyone that the Virgin's light continues to shine in their homes and hearts. From small villages to massive cathedrals, millions gather to sing, pray, and celebrate. In Tlacotalpan, Veracruz, an extraordinary aquatic procession takes place, where her image is carried on a boat through the Papaloapan River, symbolizing her guidance over the waters of life. Thousands of people follow the procession, singing hymns and expressing their devotion in one of the most stunning and emotional spectacles of faith. The Canary Islands, where her devotion first began, hold grand processions every year, carrying her statue through the streets of Tenerife as thousands of candles illuminate the night. Pilgrims travel from distant places, some even walking barefoot, to honor her presence in their lives. For them, this journey is not just physical, it is spiritual, a symbol of their faith and gratitude. These celebrations are not just for show, they are acts of faith in motion. They serve as reminders that the connection between Our Lady of Candelaria and her devotees is alive, thriving, and ever-growing. But what deeper meanings lie behind these traditions? What psychological and spiritual impact do they have on the faithful? The next part will reveal how devotion to Our Lady of Candelaria transforms not just communities, but individual lives. Faith is one of the most powerful forces in the human experience. It has the ability to heal, to unite, to inspire, and to give meaning to the darkest moments of life. The devotion to Our Lady of Candelaria is not just about religion. It is about the deep psychological and spiritual connection people feel when they turn to her. But why do so many feel such an unbreakable bond with her? What makes her presence so deeply personal, so profoundly transformative? The answer lies in the human need for connection, hope, and reassurance. When people pray to Our Lady of Candelaria, they are not just reciting words. They are pouring their hearts out to a mother figure who listens, who understands, and who does not judge. In moments of despair, when all seems lost, the simple act of lighting a candle in her name can bring a sense of peace and inner strength that defies logic. Psychologists have long studied the impact of faith on mental well-being. Studies show that people who have a strong sense of spirituality experience lower levels of anxiety, depression, and fear. The reason? Faith gives them a sense of purpose, a belief that they are not alone, and the confidence that no matter what happens, there is a higher force guiding them. This is precisely why millions turn to Our Lady of Candelaria, not just for miracles, but for emotional and spiritual healing. Her image, her candle, her stories. Each aspect of her devotion serves as a bridge between the earthly and the divine. Many who have struggled with doubt or crisis report that simply standing before her brings them an overwhelming sense of clarity and calmness. This is not superstition. It is the power of faith manifesting in the human soul. For centuries, wars have been fought, empires have risen and fallen, the world has changed in unimaginable ways, but the devotion to Our Lady of Candelaria remains. Why? Because the need for faith, for light in the darkness, for a guiding presence, is eternal. When everything else crumbles, when uncertainty clouds the future, people instinctively seek the comfort of a divine figure who reminds them that they are not forgotten. This is why her light never fades, because it is not just a flame on a candle. It is the flame of hope, love, and unwavering belief in something greater than ourselves. But what does the future hold for her devotion? How will the next generations continue to carry this sacred tradition forward? In the next part, we will explore how her influence continues to grow, adapting to the modern world without losing its spiritual essence. Faith, like fire, is never extinguished. It evolves, spreads, and illuminates new paths. The devotion to Our Lady of Candelaria is not just a relic of the past. It is alive, thriving, and expanding in ways never imagined before. In a world that constantly changes, where technology and modernity shape daily life, one might wonder, how does an ancient devotion remain relevant today? How does her light continue to guide millions? The answer lies in the unshakable need for hope, belonging, and spiritual connection. Across the world, new generations are discovering her story, embracing her as their protector, intercessor, and divine mother. Social media, documentaries, and online communities have become powerful tools in spreading testimonies of miracles, historical insights, and stories of faith. With just a single click, millions can now learn about her, join in prayers, and witness the profound impact she has on believers. The digital world has become her new sanctuary, allowing her message to transcend borders faster than ever before. But devotion is not just digital. It remains deeply rooted in physical expressions of faith. Pilgrimages to her shrines continue to grow, drawing people from every corner of the world. In Tenerife, her sanctuary welcomes thousands every year as they walk long distances, carrying candles, fulfilling promises, and expressing their gratitude for her intercession. In Latin America, processions grow larger, more vibrant, and more heartfelt, proving that faith is not fading, it is strengthening. New churches are being built in her honor, more families are passing down her traditions, and communities continue to preserve her sacred rituals and prayers. It is no longer just about the past, it is about how she continues to shape the future. What makes this devotion so unbreakable? It is the fact that she represents something timeless, the universal human need for a mother's love, for divine guidance, and for the certainty that we are never alone. Even in the most secular parts of the world, people who never considered themselves religious find themselves drawn to her presence. Lighting a candle, whispering a prayer, or simply feeling a sense of peace when they see her image. Her influence is no longer confined to cathedrals or religious festivals. It has entered the hearts of people in hospitals, prisons, battlefields, and homes. This is why her legacy will never fade, because as long as there is a need for light in the darkness, she will be there. But what makes faith in her so deeply personal? Why do millions feel as though she is not just a distant figure, but a personal presence in their lives? In the next part, we will uncover the deep emotional bond between Our Lady of Candelaria and her devotees, and why this connection remains stronger than ever. Devotion is not just about belief, it is about relationship. What sets Our Lady of Candelaria apart is that those who turn to her do not see her as an unreachable figure. They see her as their mother. They feel her presence, speak to her as if she were right beside them, and trust in her as one would trust in a mother's unconditional love. But why is this connection so deeply personal? The answer lies in the way she embraces all people, regardless of their background, struggles, or status. Whether one is rich or poor, young or old, faithful or lost, she does not turn away. Her arms are always open, her candle always lit. This universal acceptance creates a powerful emotional bond, making people feel seen, heard, and understood in ways that are often difficult to put into words. Many devotees share stories of moments when they felt completely alone, hopeless, or overwhelmed, only to find peace in her presence. Some describe looking at her image and feeling an instant warmth, a reassurance that everything would be okay. Others speak of dreams in which she appeared, offering comfort, guidance, or silent but powerful encouragement. Her maternal connection is also reflected in the way she is woven into family traditions. Many families pass down stories of her miracles, light candles in her honor, and teach their children to pray to her. This creates a spiritual lineage where each generation continues to experience her as not just a religious figure, but as a member of the family. Even those who do not consider themselves religious often find themselves drawn to her. Psychologists have studied the deep impact of having a spiritual mother figure, noting that she provides a sense of security, emotional stability, and resilience in difficult times. It is not just about faith. It is about the human need for love, protection, and the certainty that we are not alone. This is why people who have never met find themselves united under her light. Her presence creates communities, bonds, and shared experiences that transcend language, nationality, and culture. But how does this devotion manifest itself in times of crisis? How does her presence provide strength when the world feels unstable? The next part will explore how Our Lady of Candelaria has remained a source of courage in the most difficult moments of history. Throughout history, humanity has faced wars, plagues, economic collapse, and natural disasters, moments of uncertainty, fear, and suffering. In these dark times, faith becomes more than a belief. It becomes a source of strength, resilience, and hope. For centuries, Our Lady of Candelaria has been a guiding light for those in crisis, offering not just divine intercession, but emotional and spiritual fortitude to those who seek her. But how does her presence provide comfort in moments of despair? Why do people instinctively turn to her when their world is falling apart? The answer lies in her role as a mother, a protector, and a symbol of unbreakable faith. During the Spanish conquest of Latin America, both indigenous people and Spanish settlers experienced profound turmoil. The old world was colliding with the new, bringing death, uncertainty, and cultural transformation. Yet, in the midst of this upheaval, devotion to Our Lady of Candelaria flourished. For indigenous communities, she became a familiar maternal figure, blending with their own spiritual beliefs. For Spanish settlers, she was a reminder of home, tradition, and divine protection. She became a bridge between cultures, bringing peace to those who felt displaced and lost. In modern times, her presence has remained just as strong. When pandemics have struck, leaving fear and death in their wake, countless hospitals have displayed her image, and people have lit candles in her name, praying for healing. In times of war, soldiers have carried her image into battle, believing that her light would protect them from harm. In moments of personal crisis, whether it be the loss of a loved one, financial ruin, or a deep internal struggle, people instinctively turn to her, seeking guidance, strength, and reassurance that they are not alone. What makes her presence so powerful in these moments? It is the certainty that no matter how difficult the storm, her light never fades. Unlike human promises, which can be broken, and worldly structures which can collapse, faith in Our Lady of Candelaria remains constant. Her candle does not flicker in the wind. It burns steadily, defiantly, eternally. It is a reminder that no matter how dark the night, the dawn will come, and she will guide her children through the storm. This is why, when cities have been devastated by earthquakes, floods, or hurricanes, one of the first things people search for is her image. Her presence is not just symbolic, it is a psychological anchor, a reminder that all is not lost. Survivors of natural disasters often speak of how, even in the midst of destruction, seeing her image gave them the strength to keep going. It was not just about faith, it was about resilience, about finding the will to rebuild when everything seemed hopeless. Today, in a world filled with political tension, social unrest, and global challenges, more people than ever are rediscovering the power of faith. Whether they are facing depression, anxiety, or the simple struggles of daily life, they find in Our Lady of Candelaria a mother who listens, who comforts, and who reminds them that they are never alone. She is not just a figure of the past. She is a presence that continues to guide people through their most difficult moments, offering light in the darkness, hope in despair, and strength in weakness. But for many, faith is not just about personal devotion, it is about action. One of the most powerful expressions of faith in Our Lady of Candelaria is the sacred act of pilgrimage. In the next section, we will explore the life-changing experience of walking in faith to honor her, the miracles that have happened along the way, and why millions continue to embark on this journey year after year. Pilgrimage is one of the oldest and most profound expressions of faith. It is more than just a physical journey. It is a spiritual transformation, a test of endurance, and a demonstration of unwavering devotion. For centuries, millions have embarked on pilgrimages to honor Our Lady of Candelaria, walking for miles, sometimes barefoot, in an act of gratitude, penance, or deep personal reflection. But what is it about pilgrimage that makes it so powerful? Why do people from all walks of life choose to take this journey, despite the challenges it presents? The pilgrimage to the Basilica of Our Lady of Candelaria in Tenerife is one of the most sacred traditions in the Canary Islands. Every year, thousands of faithful travel by foot, some for days, to reach her sanctuary. Many carry candles, offerings, or personal letters filled with prayers and petitions. Some walk in silence, reflecting on their struggles, while others sing hymns, celebrating the joy of being in her presence. It is a journey that requires physical strength, mental resilience, and a heart full of faith. But this devotion is not limited to Tenerife. In Puno, Peru, the pilgrimage to honor Our Lady of Candelaria is one of the most significant religious events in South America. It is a breathtaking fusion of faith, tradition, and culture, where thousands of devotees dance in elaborate costumes, play traditional music, and march in processions to pay homage to her. This pilgrimage is not just a celebration, it is a spiritual renewal, a moment where people reconnect with their faith and express their devotion in the most passionate way possible. For many, the act of pilgrimage is a way of fulfilling a promise. There are countless testimonies of people who, after experiencing a miracle or receiving an answer to their prayers, commit themselves to walking in her honor. They see the journey not as a burden, but as a privilege, a way to express their gratitude and faith through action. Some walk to ask for healing, others to seek guidance, and some simply to feel closer to her. The power of pilgrimage lies in transformation. It is not just about reaching a destination, it is about the journey itself. The struggles faced along the way, the exhaustion, the pain, the doubts, mirror the struggles of life. And just like in life, the strength to keep going comes from faith, perseverance, and the belief that something greater awaits at the end of the road. When pilgrims finally arrive at her sanctuary, the overwhelming feeling of peace, joy, and spiritual fulfillment is something words cannot fully capture. In today's world, pilgrimage has also taken on new forms. Some cannot travel physically, but they embark on spiritual pilgrimages, journeys of prayer, fasting, and devotion that allow them to connect with Our Lady of Candelaria in their own way. Whether it is through lighting a candle at home, reciting a novena, or dedicating time to reflection, the essence of pilgrimage remains the same, a movement of the soul towards something greater. Pilgrimage is not just an act of tradition, it is an act of love. It is a journey that reminds us that faith is not passive, but active, lived, and experienced. But what about the next generation? How is devotion to Our Lady of Candelaria being passed down to ensure that her light continues to shine for centuries to come? In the next part, we will explore how young people are embracing this sacred tradition in the modern world. Faith is timeless, but traditions must evolve to remain relevant. In today's world, where digital distractions and shifting cultural values compete for attention, one might wonder, is devotion to Our Lady of Candelaria fading among younger generations? The answer is clear, not at all. In fact, her influence is growing in new and unexpected ways, proving that faith is not limited by time, technology, or changing lifestyles. One of the most powerful ways young people are keeping devotion alive is through social media. Platforms like YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok have become digital altars where believers share testimonies, prayers, and miracles attributed to Our Lady of Candelaria. Through hashtags, live streams, and interactive communities, devotion is no longer confined to physical churches. It is now a global movement accessible at the touch of a button. Youth pilgrimages are also on the rise, with younger generations actively participating in processions, religious festivals, and spiritual retreats dedicated to her. Many see these events not only as acts of faith, but as opportunities to connect, reflect, and rediscover their spiritual identity. For them, faith is not just about tradition. It is about meaning, purpose, and a personal relationship with the divine. But devotion is not just growing digitally. It is also thriving in music, art, and storytelling. Young Catholic artists and musicians are creating modern hymns, paintings, and films inspired by Our Lady of Candelaria, ensuring that her presence remains alive, relevant, and inspiring to new generations. Schools and universities are integrating her story into educational programs, ensuring that her message of hope and guidance continues to shape young minds. This resurgence is a reminder that faith is not something old-fashioned or outdated. It is something deeply personal, transformative, and universal. Young people today are not abandoning spirituality. They are redefining it, making it their own, and carrying it forward with passion and conviction. But faith is not just about devotion. It also has a profound impact on mental, emotional, and physical well-being. In the next part, we will explore the scientific and psychological benefits of faith in Our Lady of Candelaria, and how belief in her can bring peace, healing, and resilience in ways that even science is beginning to understand. Faith is more than a spiritual experience. It is a psychological force that transforms emotions, strengthens resilience, and enhances well-being. For centuries, devotion to Our Lady of Candelaria has brought comfort and healing to millions. But modern science is now proving what believers have always known. Faith has measurable benefits on the human mind and body. But how exactly does faith influence our well-being? Why do those who trust in Our Lady of Candelaria often feel a sense of peace, protection, and emotional stability, even in difficult times? One of the most profound effects of faith is its ability to reduce stress and anxiety. Studies have shown that people who engage in prayer, meditation, or religious rituals experience lower levels of cortisol, the hormone associated with stress. When devotees light a candle for Our Lady of Candelaria, recite a prayer, or participate in a pilgrimage, they are not just practicing tradition. They are engaging in a neurological process that calms the brain, lowers heart rate, and brings a sense of inner peace. Faith also plays a crucial role in building emotional resilience. Life is unpredictable, filled with losses, disappointments, and challenges that can break even the strongest spirits. However, those who have a deep spiritual connection, who trust in Our Lady of Candelaria's intercession, often exhibit greater psychological endurance. They see difficulties not as permanent obstacles, but as temporary trials that can be overcome through faith, patience, and perseverance. Additionally, belief in Our Lady of Candelaria provides a sense of purpose and belonging. In a world where many struggle with loneliness, depression, and uncertainty, faith serves as a guiding light, a moral compass, and a source of deep personal meaning. Whether through joining religious communities, participating in festivals, or simply sharing devotion within families, people find in her a connection that transcends isolation. One of the most remarkable aspects of faith is its impact on physical healing. While science may struggle to explain miracles, Countless medical professionals have documented cases where patients with strong spiritual beliefs experience faster recovery rates, reduced pain perception, and even spontaneous healings. Doctors often refer to this as the placebo effect of faith, but believers know that this is something much deeper, the hand of Our Lady of Candelaria at work, responding to prayers and intercessions. The connection between faith and happiness is another undeniable reality. Studies have repeatedly shown that people with strong religious beliefs tend to be happier, more optimistic, and more satisfied with their lives. This is because faith provides a sense of security, trust in a higher power, and the belief that no matter what happens, they are never truly alone. It is this sense of peace that makes devotion to Our Lady of Candelaria so transformative, because it is not just a belief, but a deep, personal experience of divine love. Faith in Our Lady of Candelaria is not just a spiritual tradition. It is a lifeline for millions, a source of strength and a proven path to mental, emotional, and even physical well-being. But how can people deepen their connection with her? What are the best ways to strengthen faith and invite her presence more deeply into everyday life? In the next section, we will explore practical ways to connect with Our Lady of Candelaria and make her light a constant part of your journey. Faith is like a flame. It must be nurtured to keep burning. Many people feel a strong connection to Our Lady of Candelaria, but often wonder, how can I deepen my devotion? How can I feel her presence more strongly in my daily life? The answer lies in consistent spiritual practices, meaningful rituals, and an open heart ready to receive her grace. There are many ways to strengthen your connection with her, but the most powerful methods are those that align with your personal journey and spiritual needs. One of the simplest yet most profound ways to connect with Our Lady of Candelaria is through prayer. Prayer is not just about reciting words, it is a conversation, a moment of intimacy with the divine. Whether spoken aloud, whispered in silence, or written in a personal journal, prayer is the bridge between you and her presence. Many devotees choose to pray a novena, the rosary, or spontaneous prayers of gratitude and supplication. Lighting a candle in her honor is another powerful practice. The candle symbolizes faith, devotion, and trust in her intercession. Many believers light a candle at home, at a church, or at a special shrine, offering their prayers as the flame burns. This simple act carries profound spiritual significance, representing the eternal presence of her light in their lives. Another way to strengthen your faith is through acts of service and kindness. Our Lady of Candelaria represents compassion, love, and selflessness, and one of the most powerful ways to honor her is by embodying these virtues. Helping those in need, comforting the suffering, and practicing kindness are ways to bring her presence into the world and into your heart. For those seeking a deeper connection, making a pilgrimage to her sanctuary or participating in religious festivals dedicated to her can be life-changing experiences. The physical act of walking in faith, alongside others who share the same devotion, creates an incredible sense of unity and spiritual renewal. Reading and reflecting on miracle stories, scripture, or personal testimonies is another way to reinforce faith. Many believers find inspiration by learning how Our Lady of Candelaria has touched the lives of others, reminding them that they too are part of this divine story. Ultimately, the key to strengthening faith is consistency. Just like any relationship, a connection with Our Lady of Candelaria grows when nurtured daily. Through prayer, reflection, and acts of devotion, her presence becomes more real, more personal, and more transformative. But beyond personal faith, what does her eternal light mean for the future? How will her influence continue to shape lives in the centuries to come? In the final part, we will reflect on her everlasting presence and the unbreakable legacy of her devotion. From a mysterious apparition in Tenerife to a global devotion that spans centuries and continents, Our Lady of Candelaria has remained a beacon of hope, faith, and divine protection. Her story is not just history. It is a living testament to the power of belief, the resilience of the human spirit, and the unbreakable bond between heaven and earth. Her candle continues to burn, guiding those who are lost, strengthening those who are weary, and illuminating the path of those who seek her intercession. No matter where you are in life, no matter what challenges you face, her presence reminds you that you are never alone. The devotion to Our Lady of Candelaria will never fade, because it is woven into the hearts of those who love her. Her light shines in pilgrimages, processions, whispered prayers, and silent moments of gratitude. It lives on in the testimonies of miracles, the faith of families, and the unwavering trust of those who call upon her name. Faith is not about seeing, it is about believing, trusting, and knowing that her love is always near. Whether you have followed her for years or are just discovering her story, remember, she is always waiting, always listening, and always ready to welcome you into her embrace. Her light is eternal, and it will always shine for you. Throughout history, Our Lady of Candelaria has proven that her light never fades, her presence never wavers, and her love never fails. From her miraculous apparition in Tenerife to the countless testimonies of faith across the world, she continues to guide, protect, and intercede for all who seek her. Her candle burns as a reminder that no matter how dark the night, the dawn always comes, and she is there, lighting the way. But faith is not just about what we hear or read. It's about how we live, how we trust, and how we take action. If this message has touched your heart, let this be the moment you strengthen your faith, deepen your devotion, and invite Our Lady of Candelaria into your life. Keep her light burning, not just in your prayers, but in your actions, in your kindness, and in the way you walk with faith every single day. I want to invite you now to take a step further. Subscribe to this channel and become part of a community that lives and breathes faith. Turn on the notifications so you never miss a video that brings hope, truth, and spiritual growth into your life. Leave a comment sharing how Our Lady of Candelaria has impacted your journey. Or if you're just beginning to know her, let us know what moved you most in this message. Let's keep this fire of faith alive together. And if this video inspired you, share it with someone who needs to hear this message. You never know who might be in need of a guiding light, a word of encouragement, or a reminder that they are not alone. By sharing this, you're not just spreading content, you're spreading faith, hope, and love. My name is Oliver, and it has been an absolute privilege to walk with you through this journey of faith today. Just like you, I am constantly learning, growing, and striving to walk in the light of Christ. My mission is simple: to bring messages that inspire, strengthen, and remind you that God is always near. Thank you for being here, for opening your heart to this message, and for being part of this journey. May Our Lady of Candelaria continue to guide you, protect you, and fill your life with peace. And remember, her light is eternal, and it will always shine for you. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next video.